Okay, I'm going to go over these last couple of tabs. However, I don't necessarily use these, mostly because some of these are built in already into the follow operations, but it is up to you. I've heard that it causes more trouble than it does solutions. So I guess use this as your own risk, A/B test things, and see how they perform yourself. So first we have story, right? At the end, if you turn this on, right, this will like users' stories, right? Well, it'll just view their story. My bad. You have to turn on like stories after you. But here, you turn this on, click, paste in your link, right, of users, right? Now, how many users to view in a session? Remember, like we said before, this is not in a total in the schedule, in the timer period. This is per session. So if I were to do 13, 14, in this 1 hour, there are multiple sessions, okay? So if I go back to story, right, we'll do a minimum of 10, maximum of 20 per session, right? How many viewed story per account? We can do 3, right? This story limit is essentially, how the max stories that you'll watch in a day, which, I mean, 800 is insane, but whatever. Then you can turn on visit target profile when viewing their stories, which, is much more organic. This will essentially, click on their profile when they search it, and then click on their story, okay? And then like stories after viewing, right? Which again, this feature is already enabled here, right? Like stories after viewing, number of stories to like per account, 2, okay? And lastly, don't view the same account twice, and view highlights if there are no stories, and vice versa. I mean, you could use this. It does sound good, but I've heard it causes more problems than it does like conversions. So use at your own risk. I will turn it off. DM, I don't use this at all. Why? Because on insta.onimator.com, the web app, right, that platform is so much better for doing DMs, right, and things like story and engagement, which is why really on the IG bot, I only have follow and unfollow turned on. The rest of them I don't use. But, if you want to test this out, go ahead. I think if, you press direct message, you compose a message, you type in the message, whatever. I don't use this. I'm gonna leave that out. Engagement. So how engagement works, essentially you turn this on, you type in a source, right? And I think the way this works is it'll add that account to the favorites. So this account is already added to favorites as an example, right? And then it will go here, it'll click favorites, and it will just kind of scroll through all of these and just click like, I think it'll like do this. I'm not exactly sure the specifics of what it does, but that's how it works. And so I guess per operation, you do 10 to 20, right? It'll add them or follow them. Engagement operation only applies when following or unfollowing accounts for engagement. So I think you have to turn on follow as well, and probably copy and paste. No, I don't know. So again, I don't use this one. Just leave it off. And then some others that are kind of hidden are like, which I don't use because again, in following, we have like random post when visiting the account. Okay. And then mute, I don't use. Remove users, don't use. And then close friends. I think this is a good idea, but however, it is not fully developed. I think they are going to develop this in a different route because, for example, the way this works here is if you turn this on and you add, close friends source, right? Like you add accounts, it'll add them to close friends, but it doesn't work if they're not following you, right? I think this would work really well if it's something like, if they follow you back, they get added to the close friends. But I think in its current state, it doesn't make sense to use, so I don't use it. And essentially, that is how to use IG bot.